Let me be blunt. If you're still chasing high returns at this stage of your life, you're not being ambitious, you're being reckless. I've watched people spend 30 or 40 years building a nest egg only to light it on fire in the final stretch because they wanted a little more. They weren't stupid. They weren't greedy villains. They were ordinary people who convinced themselves they deserved higher returns. And that belief ruined them. If that makes you uncomfortable, good. Because discomfort is often the last warning sign before regret. Set up the pain and stakes. Here's what I've seen over and over again. People don't blow up their finances when times are hard. They blow up their finances when times feel easy. When markets are calm. When everyone around them is making money. When the headlines say this time is different, they look at their portfolio and think, I've done okay, but I could do better. They see someone else earning more and feel behind. They hear about a new strategy, a new fund, a new opportunity, and they feel foolish for being cautious. And slowly, almost politely, they take on more risk than they understand. If you're watching this and thinking, he might be talking about me, you're probably right. I'm not here to flatter you, I'm here to keep you solvent. Reframe and big promise. I've spent more than half a century in markets. I've lived through booms that felt permanent and crashes that felt like the end of the world. What I learned is simple but not easy to accept. The desire for higher returns is one of the most dangerous forces in investing. By the end of this video, you'll understand why chasing returns quietly increases risk, why most people don't realize it until it's too late, and how to shift your thinking from how much can I make to how do I make sure I don't lose. That shift is the difference between lasting wealth and lifelong regret. Main content, big lessons. Lesson 1, high returns always have a price. Here's something I learned the hard way. There is no such thing as a free return. Every extra percentage point comes with a cost, usually in risk, leverage, illiquidity, or complexity. The problem is those costs don't show up on the statement. Early in my career, I watched investors pile into strategies that looked brilliant on paper. The numbers were impressive. The explanations were convincing. And the risks were invisible until they weren't. The takeaway is simple. If you don't know exactly where the risk is coming from, you're the one providing it. Lesson 2, good outcomes don't mean good decisions. I've seen people make terrible decisions and get lucky. And I've seen people make disciplined decisions and look foolish for a while. Chasing returns feels justified when it works. That's what makes it so dangerous. Success reinforces bad behavior. I had to learn to separate outcomes from decisions. A good decision can have a bad outcome. A bad decision can have a good one. Over time, only one of those survives. Your job isn't to look smart this year. Your job is to still be standing 10 years from now. Lesson 3, risk is highest when it feels lowest. Let me tell you something that will save you a lot of pain. Risk doesn't announce itself. Risk feels like comfort. It feels like stability. It feels like everyone agrees. The most dangerous periods I've lived through were the ones where people stopped worrying, where volatility was low, confidence was high, and caution was mocked. That's when chasing returns does the most damage because it feels responsible. The practical takeaway? When something feels safe because it's popular, step back. Safety that depends on agreement is fragile. Lesson 4, time is not on your side forever. This is the part most people don't want to hear. When you're younger, you can recover from mistakes. When you're older, mistakes compound faster than returns. Chasing returns late in life is not the same game. You don't have unlimited retries. You don't have decades to wait for recovery. I've watched people in their 60 seconds take risks they wouldn't have survived in their 30 seconds because they were afraid of missing out. Missing out is uncomfortable. Running out is catastrophic. Choose which fear you want to live with. Myth-busting segment. Let me clear up a few lies you've been told. Myth has shown higher returns are necessary to retire comfortably. That's wrong. What's necessary is avoiding large losses. Modest returns compounded over time beat dramatic losses every time. Myth hash 2. Playing it safe means earning less. No. Playing it safe means staying in the game. You can't compound money you've already lost. Myth hash 3. Smart people can manage higher risk. Intelligence doesn't protect you from human emotion. In fact, it often just gives you better excuses. Simple framework, checklist. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Preserve, position, participate, protect. Preserve what you've already earned. Position yourself for reasonable, not heroic, returns. Participate without trying to win every year. Protect against permanent loss above all else. That framework won't make you exciting. It will make you solvent